So in this video, we're going to solve for an angle. And so notice what I have here is the information in the given triangle is side, side, side. So once again, that tells me I need to use law of cosines. But since we already have all the sides, I'm telling you to find an angle. So I want to find angle J. So the setup is going to be the same. But instead of, let me write down what we have. So we'd have J squared. I'm actually going to shrink this and get into the bottom here. So we would have J squared is equal to K squared plus L squared minus 2 times K times L, all times cosine of J. That looks like a 5, so I'm going to clean that up a little bit. Okay, so cosine of J. So what I need to do is I need to get all this junk over to the other side. And this is where a lot of mistakes occur. People are fine with the formula, but the mistake occurs with how we balance an equation out. So what I want you to think about is if I had 4 is equal to 2 plus 2 minus 2 times 4 times 6 times x. What would we do first? Okay, well I would have the 2 plus 2, and then I'd have the 2 times 4 times 6, so that's 48x, right? Well, what some people do is they take this whole piece and move it over. And hopefully you're saying, Mr. Thornley, that's so wrong, because it doesn't follow order of operations. It's just like solving a single multi-step equation. I need to move the 4 over first by subtracting, and then I'd have, okay, 0 is equal to negative 48x. I divide by the negative 48. So the same thing here. I have to move this stuff over first, and then I need to divide out this stuff. And then I can solve for cosine of J. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of separate that. We're not going to be working with that. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my numbers, and we're going to start working this problem. I'm going to go to the right of the picture. I'm going to shrink this picture just a little bit so I have a little bit more space. You should still be able to read that, no problems. So we're solving for angle J, so that means side J is first. So I have 4 squared is equal to 6.4 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 6.4 times 7, all times cosine of J. So I'm going to go ahead and take my calculator out, and I'm going to work with these numbers. And the first thing that I'm going to do, and as I said before, I'm going to get these guys together, and then I'm going to get these guys together. And so when I do that, I get 16 is equal to 89.96 minus 89.6 cosine of J. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to then subtract this over. And I get a negative 73.96 is equal to negative 89.6 cosine of J. Now, how do I get rid of the number that's in front of cosine? It's being multiplied. So I go ahead and divide it out. So cosine of J is going to equal 0.825. I would always round to the nearest thousands. Okay? Just a good rule of thumb, because then we're going to get a more accurate angle measurement. So, hey, I want to find the angle. I have the trig value, so that's an inverse trig function. And what is this equal to? We end up, we'll round to the nearest tenth of a degree. We're okay with that. We would get 34.4 degrees. And that's how we can use law of cosines to solve for an angle.